Alright guys, the first specific video is going to be the combat application tourniquet. The cat tourniquet usually comes rolled up. It's in a bubble pack and it's like this. Most people will break them out of the pack and then they'll wrap some rubber bands around the side and rubber band them into their kit into a couple places, or they'll just unpack them and jam them in. Sometimes they're still in the packet, and inside the packet they have instructions and everything like that. I found personally it's better to be more familiar with your gear before you're actually using it. So I unwrap all my stuff and look at each one and inspect a few things on each tourniquet, because they are plastic. They do suffer from some specific things. Some key things to look at if you unwrap it is look at your plastic connection wings here and make sure your windlass clips in really solidly. You want to clip in and you want to be able to move it back and forth, but you don't want to be able to really unclip it without really trying to. It's not going to be very solid in there, but you still want it to be positive. Same thing on either side. You don't know which way you're going to be turning, so you want to check that. Another thing to check is look at this windlass cord here. Kind of spool out a few inches and make sure it's not wrapped over on itself and not frayed or anything like that, because that's what's actually going to give you your traction. Third thing is look at your buckle. Your cat tourniquet is pretty much a universal hook and loop fastener that will feed through this buckle if you're going to go onto a leg or just over the top. But look at the buckle and make sure it's not cracked, frayed, anything like that. And there's little plastic tabs in here that actually provide that positive friction lock. Make sure those aren't bent over onto themselves or anything like that. It can happen in transport. Usually doesn't. And then last piece is, it's part of the backing piece of where your hooks are. Make sure that this isn't bent up or anything like that either. I pulled these out of packages before and they've just been snapped into brand new. And in the field, when you actually need one of these, is not the time to find out that it's completely gone down. So going out, we're going to go over how to put them on. I would pull them out all the way like this. And the first thing I usually do, since I do so much stuff on my own, I would not feed it back through the loop. I would pass it over onto itself. Now the cat tourniquet is designed that when it's looped over onto itself, it will provide enough pressure for an arm. You don't need to go back through the lockback system unless you're going to do a leg. Now the idea behind this is one-handed. This arm is injured. I pass my arm through here. I pull down and wrap it around. And then I'm able to twist down my tourniquet and then clip it in place. One-handed. I'm actually applying this. It's actually kind of snug. So I'm showing you that you might have to battle with it. See what I did there? Not everything's perfect. Clip it in, Velcro it back over onto itself, or you can pull this through, like I do, and then Velcro it back onto itself to retain it. Now at this point I would back it up with some tape if I was working on another guy, or even if I had time on myself, I would wrap this around here and then just over wrap it in tape to make sure it stays on. Now the other mode of thought on these, like I said, I just flip it over itself for the arm. I'm out alone by myself, I'm injured, pull this out, come up my leg as high as I need to go, usually above the joint. You want to go 2 inches above or below the joint. The current mode of thought is higher is better, but if you have to move yourself, put it as close to the wound as you can, usually outside of the 2-inch destroyed zone. Then you're going to loop it back onto itself, pull it down through, twist it down, and lock it into place. And then again, just like the other one, I would back this up with tape and make sure that it is positive and locked and secured very well. That's really it for the cat tourniquet. So we're going to move on to the next segment. Thanks.